Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Sunday the 5th of March 2023 in today's Millwall news. We start off with this from londonnewsonline.co.uk, South London Press's online website. Millwall boss can't fault effort of his players in den defeat to Norwich City. Gary Rowett had no complaints about the application of his Millwall players in yesterday's 3-2 loss to Norwich City. The Lions saw their 11-game unbeaten championship home record snapped by David Wagner's side. Millwall weren't helped by the fact that they played in midweek, a 2-2 draw at Luton Town, while Norwich had a full week to prepare. The Lions had another addition to their sideline players, with Leeds loanee Jamie Shackleton ruled out due to illness. Millwall were also without Billy Mitchell, Mason Bennett and Tyler Berry. Rowett said, "We lost Shacks this morning to another illness, so it just stretches that squad one more. I can't remember the last time I've had the opportunity to pick the same team twice. We've had to constantly keep tweaking and adjusting things. The third Norwich goal was a great bit of quality spins. I can talk about how we can drop in and block that space. But it's a great bit of quality, a bit of Premier League quality. And you're 3-1 down in a game where you feel like it's been fairly even. We get a goal back and the fans stay behind us. They turned up in numbers and kept urging us forward. I think we tried everything we could to get back in the game. The one thing I'd highlight about this group is their determination, their character, energy and their effort, just to try and get an equaliser at the end. We had a goal line clearance from Tom. If that's the other way round, it probably flips up onto someone's shin and goes in, but it wasn't to be. Hanley, great experience, he just dropped in at the right time. We've had a couple of other good moments. We've had about 20 shots to Norwich's 8 or 9, so it clearly shows that we've created enough opportunities, but Norwich have ended up with those goals against the moments that we needed to defend better. More on that later, because obviously Sunday, the post-match, is stats day, so that'll be at the end of the video. But we had a ridiculous amount of shots, and they had very few, but they ended up scoring 3 goals, so that will be fun to look at later. But the effort, you can't fault the effort, but you can probably fault the positioning for defending of the corners. Now, obviously, with a short week or short amount of time to prepare for this game, that must have been impacted on that. And a lot of people would probably point the finger at the coaches for that kind of thing, and not the players. So maybe he's trying to deflect any blame, because if you're going to blame anyone for the loss, you'll blame the set piece situation, and that would probably come back on the coaches. So he doesn't want any blame. It's just one of those things. We just lost 3-2, even though we had 20 shots on goal. They only had 9, but a lot of people are not happy. But I mean, it is a ridiculous run we've had at home. 11-game unbeaten championship home record. I think as well as I believe that game was the first game this season where, when we've taken the lead, we've lost. That was the first time. And before that, I think before the Sunderland game, we had won every game where we had taken the lead. So, but there you go. You can't fault the effort. Just fault the positioning for the corner kicks. So this from southwarknews.co.uk. That was unlike us. Gary Rowett disappointed by Millwall's defensive collapse against Norwich City. The Lions had more than doubled the amount of shots than the Canaries managed at the Den yesterday afternoon. So let's see if Gary Rowett's going to talk about the defensive situation at the corners. Gary Rowett admitted that Gabriel Sara's goal was an incredible piece of individual quality, but was left frustrated by Millwall's defending for the other 2 goals in their 3-2 defeat to Norwich City. And then they go and talk about what happened in the game, which we all know about. Rowett said after the game that he felt the goals were avoidable, adding that his side's performance at the back was a big disappointment. "I think every championship game is the same," he claimed. "We were 5th before the start of today's game for a reason, because we've been very, very consistent. We've done a lot of things well for a period of time. What you can't afford to do is give poor goals away. Norwich have worked the routines well, but it's not a well-worked routine where someone has stuck it in the top corner. It's a well-worked routine that gets a chance, but we have then to deal with it in the next little stage of us That was unlike us today to concede 2 goals like that against a team like Norwich. If they play through the thirds and outpass us, I can hold my hands up and say they're a really good side. To concede 2 goals in that way is a big disappointment. Indeed, he's talking about like if they came forward and just passed it through us and then scored those goals, that would be disappointing. But the goals came from corners, and the third goal came from a cross down our left hand side, their right. But yeah. And he's talking about second ball, so it's a well-worked team that gets a chance, but we have to then deal with the next stage, which is the second balls. You've got to get the second balls from corners and all kinds of situations. That is a vital part of the game. So yes. Now moving on to also from southwarknews.co.uk, Gary Rowett made a comment about Infantino. So this is Millwall manager reacts after FIFA Presidents spotted at the Den. Gianni Infantino opted to watch the Lions match with Norwich City instead of attending Arsenal versus Bournemouth or Chelsea versus Leeds United. Gary Rowett was delighted to hear that the FIFA president Gianni Infantino chose to watch Millwall's championship clash against Norwich City. The 52-year-old was in London for the IFAB conference and was looking to attend a match in the capital during his stay. However, instead of visiting the Emirates Stadium or Stamford Bridge, he was seen at the Den. Infantino had been discussing the possibility of professional football matches adopting 100-minute games, which is something that Rowett claims he is not in favour of, but he hoped the Swiss football administrator had an enjoyable time in SC16. I'd have loved to have had 100 minutes today. I thought Angus Gunn was going to take 100 minutes to take that goal kick late on, he joked after the game. I don't really know. My personal opinion is that it should be whatever time is added on. The fact that he was here, I don't know the reason. Hopefully he's heard that there was going to be a brilliant atmosphere today with 2 championship sides going at it. Maybe he wanted a game that wasn't a Premier League high-flying game with 60,000 fans there. If that's the case, I'm sure he's gone away and enjoyed his experience. Yes, but apparently, according to the South London Press, which I haven't brought up on here, he left at half time. So I don't know if it kicked off. I don't know if he was trying to take his Fosters up to his seat, and they said to him, "Oh, sorry, sir, you can't bring your drinks upstairs." And he's like, "What do you mean I can't bring my drink up the stairs? I'm the fucking FIFA Presidente." I don't know if it was that or if he was just had somewhere to go, a flight to catch or something. But yeah, left at half time apparently. So there you go. But FIFA President at the Den. Crazy days, huh? I bet. I think that's got to be the first time that's happened. I think we never had Joel Avalanche down there. Seb Blatter. Or Jules Rimet. Was Jules Rimet ever down at the old Den, down in Colbert Lane? Probably not. One of the king. Who was it? King Edward when he was still Prince of Wales. Did he opened up the Colbert Lane Den? Didn't he? I swear he was there for the first game. And I think Princess Elizabeth, the Queen Elizabeth, she was at the FA Cup wartime cup final that Millwall involved in. But other than that, what other VIPs have we had down at Millwall? Yeah, interesting stuff. So now we are going. That's enough for the news. Now we're going to get on to the stats. Here we go. This is going to be fun. If you look in the middle above the red FT, you can see the XG for that game. 1.66 to 0.58. Yeah, that's a bit of a disaster. When Norwich have an XG of half of a goal, and they ended up getting 3. Now, obviously, the second goal that they scored, or we scored it for them, Tom Bradshaw, that was a cross, so that wasn't even a shot on goal. But yeah, and there you go. We go ahead. They score 3, and then we make changes, and we're looking at it later. But those changes were all guns blazing. We ended up getting 1 goal back. Could have got the other one back, but it's not easy when you're trying to come back like that. So here we go. These are all Millwall shots over the 90 minutes of the game. Our best chance was Tom Bradshaw's goal. I don't know if you've seen it yet. The Millwall Twitter have got a certain close up, and they do a slow down when he takes a touch. I told you about it the other day. Brilliant goal. I mean, the ball's played through, but it's behind him. So in his stride, he does a little back heel, so it knocks it in front of his path, runs onto. Absolutely brilliant stuff. I mean, that's top quality. And then we have Bradshaw's chance there, and interesting. You see how good a chance that was, because there are 3 other chances around that area, and that was Fleming's other goal. So there you go. Yeah, that's all the shots that we had, 20 or so that Gary Rowett told you about earlier. And here are Norwich's, as you can see, slim pickings. But this was enough to get them three goals. And as you can see, so if you look at the fairness rating at the bottom, fairness rating out of 100, 58.66. Was that a fair result? No. Based on the chances that were created, that should not have been 3-2 to Norwich. Probably should have been either 2-1, maybe, or 2-2. But, yeah. That was definitely not a fair result. So we were quite unlucky in that game. And if we can split it by going first half. They didn't even have a shot inside the area. That's just outside the area of that goal. Left 3 shots in the first half and got 1 goal. And we have all of these and get 1 goal. And the goal was made. Like Bradshaw made that goal. Fleming made that goal. Bradshaw. They made it themselves, you know. Whereas you've got teams that we play against, they seem to have midfielders and other people that create goals for the strikers and stuff. Whereas Fleming and Bradshaw seem to have to be doing things on their own. Second half, there you go. I don't know if there's something happening there. Did Norwich go to a 4 at the back, and that left the gap between the 2 centre backs? I don't know. Why is there? There seems to be like a channel that they're going down. Millwall shots. Kind of weird, but okay. And here's Norwich. So yeah, there you go. Moving on to whoscored.com. If you look at in the middle, Millwall created a high number of chances relative to their possession, more effective defending goal scoring opportunities from individual skill. That's Bradshaw. Opportunities from long shot situations, and opportunities from set pieces. But we were caught offside often, and we committed a high number of individual errors. But Norwich was strong at finishing. Indeed. And if you look on the right hand side, you can see the top 5 in each of those categories. And in terms of ratings, Norwich are way up there. So here we go. So it was actually 22 attempts by Millwall, 10 for Norwich. It's 13-6 open play, 8-3 set pieces. So we had 8 set pieces. And what we scored from one of them, the Vogel Salmon corner, 1-0 counter attack. And there you go. So 22 shots, 2 goals is a 9% conversion rate. And Norwich 10 shots, 3 goals is 30%. That's the highest I've seen it for many times. That's the kind of situation that we had. I think when we played a lower league team in the FA Cup, that's the kind of situation that we had. That's the kind of difference that you get in terms of finishing. So when you're playing like a pub league goalkeeper, not that I'm saying that George Long is that, but that's the kind of situation you get where you get 30% conversion rate of shots to goals. So here we go. We were going down our right hand side. This is kind of weird because we're in red, because the home teams in this are always in red, so we're on the left hand side in red. Norwich in blue, even though they're playing yellow. That's how it goes. And they were mostly going down the left-hand side. Shot directions. Shot zones. So shot directions, let's go back to that and have a look. Norwich going down the right-hand side. So their right-hand side is our left-hand side. And however much you like Mario Wallace, you've got to understand that he's not the best, is he? He's not. He is not the best. He's attritional. He does what he can with what he has, but there's not quality there. And you've got to think as each year goes by, how much is he dropping off? He can still do bits and pieces and stuff, but in terms of consistency at this level, be interested to see how he's performed against the top teams in this league. And can he do it? Is he a top championship player? Maybe not. Is he going to get roasted now by other teams coming down that side? But who have we got? Scott Malone isn't really a fullback. He's more of a winger come wing back. So who else are you going to put there? There is no one to be had right now. So it's Murray Wallace or bust, I'm afraid. So we've got to figure out and deal with it. So shot zones. There you go. Pretty much the same both teams. Action zones. So look, 23% of the match was in our home third, but they still ended up scoring 3 goals. Player positions. That looks kind of weird. Pookie, I'm assuming, 22 up front, isolated. And then obviously, as we've said, with Norwich going down the right hand side, look what you've got there. You've got Jay Cooper and Myron Wallace basically playing on each other. So obviously Cooper coming across quite often to help out Myron Wallace, and Honeyman as well being pushed back into that. Whereas on the other side, you've got McNamara and 7. Was Burke 7, yeah? So they're going forward. Okay. Now, moving on to this. And there are the match events. Obviously, we got the first yellow card and the first goal, but they caught up pretty quickly. So Fleming with a goal and an assist, Bradshaw with a goal, Volsammer with an assist again, coming off of the bench with the corners. McNamara getting booked, and you can see again. So obviously 65 minutes, they go 3-1 up. Rowett goes, fuck it lads, let's go for it now. What else can you do? Which is I don't know what to make of this. We saw it at Luton where when we went 2-0 up, I was saying after the game, hindsight and all that, but I was saying at the time, there's 30 minutes left, you're 2-0 up, make the defensive changes, and then he waited till we're 2-1 to do that. Now obviously he's waiting till we're 3-1 to start going for it, because obviously we're 2-1 down on 55. Then 10 minutes later we go 3-1 and he's okay now. So you wait 10 extra minutes. You see how busy we were at the end of the game. All the shots on target. And they didn't have pace up front, really. They have Pookie. He's not the quickest. So I don't think they would have run us ragged on the counter attack. Yeah, there you go. 3-1 down. And immediately, then the subs happen. Attacking subs. Watmore on for Saville, Volsammer on for Honeyman, and Romain Esse on for Oliver Burke. So yeah, let's go and have a look and see who did what in the game. Obviously that was 18,785 crowd at the Den. That is the highest league attendance ever at the new ground. Crazy crowd, absolutely crazy. And if you look at the club badges at the top left and the top right, you can see the average rating for Millwall players was 6.54. The average for Norwich was 6.87. So that's quite a difference at this level of 0.3 per player. In terms of, so the man of the match, they gave it to Sorensen. Based on the numbers, that's 8.4. And in terms of the other players on the pitch, you've got Sara with 8.2 and Fleming with 8.2 as well. Obviously, both of those players had a goal and an assist. And in terms of the lowest rated player, it's a Millwall player, it's Jules Saville, 5.8. Obviously, coming back from the situation, he's a tight calf and stuff. Yeah. So going down and seeing the shots, 22-9. So they've changed it now. They said 10 a minute ago. They said 10 here. Oh, I know why that is. They've added the own goal. If you go up and see own goal, so you've got 6 open play, 3 set piece, and 1 was an own goal. So it's an attempt. It's not a shot. It's an attempt. So yeah, but they actually had 9 shots, not 10. And there you go. Look at us. Bradshaw with 5, Fleming with 3, Lennon and Burke with 2 each, Cresswell and Saville with 2. Everyone on Millwall had a shot except for of the starting 11, except for McNamara, Honeyman, and the goalkeeper. But as you can see, Norwich is just the forward players and more or less the forward players on that right hand side. Sarr with 3, Pukki with 3, and Sorensen with 1. Sorensen had 1 shot and scored. Whereas you got Fleming with 3, scored, and Bradshaw with 5, scored 1 at the right end and 1 at the wrong end. In terms of possession, actually quite high for us, even for a home game. 45-54, and the man who was on the most was Cresswell. Obviously, with Pukki left up front on his own, kind of isolated at times, that gives the Millwall defence a lot of time on the ball, and Cresswell's had 5.9% of the match possession on himself. And there you go. It's the defenders on the ball the most, although Lennon's got 5%. Moving on to pass success percentage, back up to normal. Quite down in the recent games where we're just clearing it long against Luton and against Stoke. So we actually were keeping the ball a bit and passing it around a bit. 74-77. Again, Wallace stands at 66. Was that part of him being under pressure from Norwich going down that side? Maybe. In terms of the highest, it's McNamara and it's Saville. Dribbles 8-8. Aerials 21-24. So everyone for Millwall won an aerial except for Honeyman and Long. The most was Hanley, 8 for them. Cresswell 5 for us. In terms of tackles, they out and tackled us as well, because obviously they had to, or we were just going all guns blazing. I'll show you that in a minute. It's 14-22. Interestingly, they're saying Hanley and Gibson didn't have a tackle to make. So they were just kind of blocking off and closing down and boxing out and stuff like that. Corners 4-4. This is the players who won the corners. Dispossessed 8-9. That's having the ball taken off. So let's have a look. Where are we at? So in terms of the game before and after the situation. So if we go to total shots, so there you go. This is the game at 3-1 up to the 67th minute. We had 11 shots, and what else do I want to show you? Just the 11 shots. So you can see we've had 11 shots in the first 67 minutes of the game. Gary Rowett says, "Fuck it, let's throw everything in the kitchen sink here." Makes the attacking substitutions. So what was it for the rest of the game? We had another 11 shots. When we actually started attacking and going for it, we had the same amount of shots in that last 25 minutes or so than we did in the whole of the first 66 minutes. And I understand that, like, it's crazy. I understand you can't play with that intensity for the whole game. It's probably a bit stupid to do that. And I understand as well that Norwich were 3-1 up, so obviously they were just trying to do what we were trying to do against Luton, which is all guns are blazing, backs to the wall. Let's try and keep them out. Even if we do concede one, we've still got a 2-goal lead, so it's fine. And that's what we tried to do at Luton, and it didn't work. They tried it against us, and it worked. They only had 2 more shots in that time. We had 11. So it really was a different situation there. First 66 minutes and the last 33 or 23. Yeah, crazy stuff. Just got to be unlucky. What can you do? Got unlucky defending the corners, and we got unlucky throwing the kitchen sink at it, with them clearing the ball off the line. So let's have a look at what happened in that game, player by player, on the list. So Simon Fleming, the only player with 8, and the next highest rated Millwall player was under 7, 6.9. That was Leonard. I thought he's done quite well since he's come in. Done pretty well. Not looked out of place. You would think that he might be a bit off the pace and been out for so long, but no, pretty decent. And then you've got Vogelsammer. Obviously, with that assist, that's pumped him up in the ratings on this website. He was on the pitch from 68 minutes. So he was one of the ones who juiced when asked to, which come on. And we saw this in the earlier of the season when he signed. He was coming off on the bench and hitting bars and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And then when they started him, he wasn't the same exciting type of player. So maybe there's something in that. Then you've got basically all of the other players in like mid sixes until you get down. George Saville 5.78. Why is that? And Danny Mack as well 6.1. You've got Danny Mack, who's on for 90 minutes, being outranked by all of the substitutes who came on. Even the ones who came on the 88th minute got higher ranking. Alright. That is interesting. Is that yellow card that's ranked him down? Don't know. Kind of weird. I think he had the most touches of any player. Let's have a look. I think he did. So maybe they're thinking, well, he didn't really do much with the ball for someone who's had 74 touches of the ball. Who knows? Then you've got obviously Charlie Cresswell as well in midfield. Ryan Leonard, but then we go back to defence 62 and then 54th. Fleming looked very good yesterday, didn't he? That's unusual that we have an attacking player to have so many touches on the ball. Which is usually our defenders, because we usually just lump it long. Let's go for shots on target. So we had all these shots. Was it 29 or so? Holy moly! Look at this. Everyone's had a shot except for George Long. So Yeah, George Long, Honeyman, and Essay. The only ones who McNamara didn't have a shot. George Evans had a shot. Malone had a shot. What more? Obviously not on target, except for Malone. Malone's one was on target. Yeah, so we've got all this. Obviously, Bradshaw 5 and 3, Fleming 3 and 1, Cresswell 2 and 1. We've got Saville 2 and 0, Burke 2 and 0. So of all of these shots, was it 20 or so? We've got 8 on target, and we scored 2 goals from 8 shots on target. That's kind of under. Well, that goalkeeper's a very good goalkeeper, but that is kind of under when you've got 8 shots on target. But that's it. You've got a championship quality. The guy's a Premier League quality goalkeeper, to be fair. I think you would think he stayed at Norwich because he's Angus Gunn, his Brian Gunn's son. He likes Norwich. He loves Norwich. He's a club legend. He probably could have left and gone back to the Premier League, but he wanted to stay there. So 8 shots on target, only 2 goals. Probably should be doing better than that at this level, but like I said, a bit unlucky. Aerials 1. Cresswell, Murray Wallace, and then Fleming, Burke, Evans. 2 aerials 1. Coming on in the 88th minute. Okay, we go again. This always does this. Because I'm not on the page, it doesn't load it properly. So here we go. Let's try it again. Here we go. So offsides. We said we were offside a lot. We're offside 3 times, which is once every 30 minutes in a 90-minute game. Obviously, Tom Bradshaw was saying he was offside twice. That's not a lot, I don't think, not at this level. Defensively. So who did what in defence? McNamara 3, Leonard with 3 with the tackles, and then a whole host of others with tackles. Interceptions. Incredibly, you have George Long with an interception. You've got George Long with 2 clearances. So that's not good when he's having to do that kind of stuff. Cooper with 4. Leonard, obviously second highest rating for Millwall. He's got the most tackles and the second most interceptions. Again, defending higher up the pitch. Good stuff. Clearances, that's obviously Charlie Cresswell, George Long, Mario Wallace. Blocked shots, so 3. So you've had Norwich having 9 shots. They've scored 2 goals from them. Obviously, that one of the goals wasn't from a shot. I'm not going to count that. So they had 9 shots. 3 of them were blocked. 2 of them went in. So that leaves 4 more. So George Long made 4 saves. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go down and have a look. How many of their shots were on target? So again, 9. They had 9 shots. They had 5 on target. So they had 5 on target. 3 of them were blocked. 2 went in. So it looks like, did George Long actually make a save in that game? You have to watch it back and see. Again, but a lot of people digging them out. Even Gary Rowett said for their first goal, Simon Fleming's getting in the way. He's on the post and he doesn't come off the post quick enough, which you're supposed to do because you don't want to play them on side. And he just blocks George Long's view. In terms of passing, so who had the most passes for Millwall? 51. Charlie Cresswell, then McNamara, then Leonard, and George Saville was way down, although he did get taken off earlier. And in terms of accuracy, who would you give the gold star to? Probably Danny McNamara, 79.1 off 43. That's pretty good. And you've got The actual highest was obviously Summer with only with 7 passes. Well, 2 of them were key passes. And you got Romainese 90.9 off of 11. So let's have a look at crosses and accurate crosses. McNamara 4-1, George Hyman 4-2, Summer 4-1, Oliver 3-1. Yeah, a bit underwhelming. In terms of long balls and accurate long balls, let's have a look at this. Obviously, you've got Charlie Cresswell 14-6, George Long 13-6. Again, you can see. So look, so obviously George Long with a lot of short passes, with Norwich just sitting back. George Long's had 27 passes in total, 13 of them were long, so that leaves 14 short. That's why his passing accuracy is so high. That's 74.1, because it's normally down in the 20s or 30s, but obviously he wasn't pumping it long that much. So when he did, he got 50% off of that, 13-6. You got Jay Cooper 9-4, Murray Wallace 7-2, blah 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 blah. You got Jules Saville 3-3. So Jules Saville, not that bad actually. John Fleming 2-1. So yeah, crazy stuff. Just a bit unlucky. Facing what? Let's be fair. Their wage budget is, I think I read it was like 23 million a year, and ours is 7. They've got players that cost millions of pounds in transfer fees, who were playing in the Premier League last season. Arguably a Premier League quality goalkeeper, and that's the standard. Even though they're below us in the league, they had a bit of a poor run in the start of the season under manager that didn't work out for them. But under the new manager, they come on leaps and bounds. So, and obviously well drilled and well coached, because you can still see all the corner routines that stitched us up. But what can you do? We go again. We got Reading. I was a bit having looked in yesterday's video at Reading's home record and seen it's better than ours. Got me a bit worried, but then I noticed they were playing in midweek. So hopefully the same situation that we faced, where we were a bit lacking in our preparedness for the Norwich game, will affect Reading in our game next week, because they do have a midweek game. So we wait and see. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.